Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how I modify headphones. Today I'm going to show you guys how I modify headphones. My knob and the Excalibur has a set of headphones that a lot of people complain about because of the fact that they're not really built very good. They're super lightweight. They're really wide. This headband is really super tight and it squeezes your head severely after a little while. The cups are not comfortable. They have holes throughout them so that they can drain because they are underwater headphones. And they're noisy. You can hear sounds on the outside because of these holes and because there's actually a hole inside of here that you can't even plug up. There's a lot of problems with these headphones. The one thing that I really like about these headphones is that they really sound great. They got a good sound to them. And so what I did is there's a few people around that make headphone modifications. Old Beachnet makes modifications with new speakers, and Mal up over in England does a really nice job on using an MSA type of a headphone, builds his own and sells them for Excalibur users, and I guess pretty much anybody who wants them. What I wanted to try to do is I wanted to try to get something that was better than this and not too expensive. Now they do sell they also sell Grey Ghosts and other brands that are underwater and they're pretty good, but I'm really not that fond of them. I've tried them and I don't find them to be that comfortable. What I do find to be very comfortable are these. These are MSA left rights. They're actually manufactured by MSA, and they can only be worn one way. You can't interchange them. You can see that they have a curve to them. They fit my head perfectly, and they're nice low profile, and I just really like them. And they're just all they are is sound attenuating earmuffs, medium sound attenuating earmuffs from MSA. And I tear them apart. This is what they look like when they're brand new. I take them apart, take all the guts out of them. I put some grommets in here and grommets on the top. I run the wire through the over the top of the bail and take the piezo's out of here. These little sound boards out of here, shape them, and then reinstall them into these cups. I'm going to show you how I do that step by step. I'm going to convert these into these. I use all the parts on this thing except for the yellow crap on these bales, and I put them into here. So this is how I do it. I'll show you step by step. Step one, I got to take these things apart. That's not that hard to do. These little covers just snap right off of here. I use a razor knife, and I'll cut this little piece of heat shrink that they put here. Being careful not to cut the wire. I'll just cut this down all the way along here. And pull that off. And now I can pull this wire off of here. And these just come out of here, just like that. Okay, so I'm committed. These I just toss away. I just throw them away. They're not good to me anymore, and I don't use them. Now the next thing I got to do is I got to pull these things out of here. These little piezo's out of here. There's 4 tiny little Phillips screws that I have to remove. There we go. That's what they look like inside. Okay, screws off the other one. So that's what they look like disassembled. Okay, this is what usually freaks people out. I'm going to cut that right there. That's about 3/4 of the way, or a little bit more than that, across the the face of the speaker. That gives me enough room so I can cut this thing back and get a nice splice in there and put the shrink tube tubing back on it again. That's about how much I usually do, right about like that. And the same thing with this guy. Put it across here and cut them up about there. And that is what I do. And then, so if you have any kind of a problem with making inline splices or making waterproof splices, I would suggest that you don't do this modification, because it does require some knowledge in that area. So I'm taking these things out of here, untie these knots. I'll be putting knots back in them again, and I'm going to go ahead and relax, use a heat gun to relax this wire a little bit, because it's all kinked from being held there for such a long time. And the same thing with this guy. I'll go ahead and take this out and relax it a little bit. Okay. So, there we have it. These I toss. And then I got to shape this thing here to fit inside that cup. And I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so this is what I'm faced with here. I've got these are the original cups, or the original soundboards with the piezo speakers attached in here. So I got to make these fit these. Okay. Anyway, you pull these things apart. I just first of all take these off of the bail. You got to make up your mind too, because these things are left rights. They're actually you can only wear them one way, and that's with this bail going forward under your head like that. They have to be this way, and that's the reason why they call them left rights. You can see that these cups are actually designed to go on either the left and the right hand side of your head. So before you decide to do this, you've got to decide where you're going to use your machine. So if you're going to keep the machine on the shaft, you're going to use the right cup. You're going to drill a big hole in the bottom of the right cup. If you're going to use it on your back, then this is the way you go. Most people so far have had it down have had it so that it stays on the machine, and so I've been doing it on the right hand side. But you never know. You might change your mind. If you do, you can always rewire these damn things, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. So this is how you do this. What we're doing is I'm going to push down on top of this thing a little bit, get a little pressure on it so I can pop the ear cup out and get rid of this foam piece. And this earpiece then is what this will fit into. And as you can see, it's considerably bigger than what it needs to be for this thing. It needs to fit right inside there. So what I do is I actually will put it inside here, and I'll spot glue it in place with a couple of dabs of marine silicone, like 5200 or something, to hold it in place. So this has to be cut down, and that way we do that is with a good old-fashioned here. So I'll go ahead and get this moving so you can see what's happening, and then I'll go ahead and speed this video forward a little bit so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. Notice that I'm cutting just to the very last lump on this thing. I'm cutting right up next to this thing. It's a pretty sloppy cut. I'm aware of that, and I'll show you why I don't really care here in a second. Okay, both of them are cut out, but as you can see, it's still too big to fit in there. It needs to be trimmed out just exactly right to this point, and you can see there's a little bit of slag that'll definitely outside. And so I remove that this way. I actually have my little belt sander here. Little belt sander and a board so that I can grind the top side of it. That's going to be noisy, so you're not going to hear any commentary, and I'll zip this one forward as well. But this is how I do this. God, dang, it's noisy. So that's it. It's ground off nice and smooth all the way around. And now it fits perfectly inside that cup. Look at that. Just like, almost like it was made for it. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm doing this for a guy that's going to be putting it on his back, so I'm going to have the wire coming into the earphones on the left-hand side, right there. So I'm going to drill a hole here and put a grommet in there. The problem is that this material is so thick that grommets don't really fit in there very well, so I have to recess this, spot face a little place where the grommet's going to go. And I'll show you how I do that. You can see I can't really drill a hole very easily because it has this little indicator mark here, so I've got to pull that out of there first. Got a little tool here, I'll just carve that out of there. It's pretty easy to do. This material is pretty pretty soft material. Okay, just took it out of there. So that's nice. I can drill it. So this is how I do that. I got a couple. These are Black & Decker bits, and the reason I like them is because the flat on them right here is flat. A lot of spade bits have. They're actually pointed upwards like this, and it actually makes it so it's kind of hard to cut inside of this concave surface. This gives me a lot more control. So we put this puppy in here. This happens to be a 1/2-inch bit, and it's going to accommodate this grommet. Dig it? Okay. Then this just shoves right in there. Goes into there, like that. Nice and neat installation. So that's one. I'll do the top two on this one here, and this one here. I'll do with a smaller drill bit, and then put these little grommets in. Okay, so there's the finished cups. Two nice little holes on the top of them. And like I said, it's slightly recessed to make this material thinner, so I can put the grommets in. Yeah, that's going to work really good. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay a little heat on this thing, on the cord. Not too much, don't want to burn it, just want to relax it a little bit, you know. That's better. Not perfect, but better. Same deal with this. Okay, you don't need to watch all this. You get the idea. Okay, so I've taken the kinks out of the wire here, pretty much. And I'm going to go ahead and strip this back, expose these wires, do the same on this, and on these two, the same on this. Now, the nice thing about this mod is that I don't have to remove the headphone wire from the control pod. Here we go. I'll show you how I do this. Little razor knife. Oh, and by the way, I need to have some some focal assistance or some optical assistance on this thing. This is what this is going to look like when I'm doing this. Gotta have these. Can't see a damn thing without them. Anyway, here we go. So, I'll take this and cut this back about an inch, I guess. 3/4 of an inch. What I do is I'll just get a little of it started here. Just lightly cut through the just a slight little bit of the material. And then, you can see I started a little slot right there. And I'll go ahead and, it doesn't look focused, sorry about that. I'll just barely hit that until I can see it open up on the inside. See that? And then I'll go around the other side and do the same. This way I can take this outer insulation off without destroying the inside of the wire, but I got to be real careful because I don't want to cut the inside wire at all. And so this is pretty delicate surgery. As you can see, I was able to do that without damaging the inside wire. That's how I do this. The white wire is underneath a piece of shrink tube here, the black wire is underneath a piece of shrink tube there, soldered together. Shield is just kind of soldered together in a little lump right in the middle. Okay? So this stuff's been around for a long time. I was using something that was similar to this back in the Navy back in the 70s, so it's pretty good stuff. It's actually moisture sealing electrical tape. It's self-sealing. It bonds to itself. It's almost like it's raw rubber. What I do is I use a chunk of it, maybe 6 inches or so, and I actually won't use it in its thickness, in that thickest state. I'll actually cut it in half. So I have about a 3/8 inch strip of raw rubber. Now what this does, when you apply this, you apply it by stretching it out first. Okay, it stretches way the hell out, and then you can start kind of laying it on there a little at a time. And like I said, what it does, it just really bonds itself to itself. And makes a very waterproof joint. Good stuff. Roll it around a little bit because I'm going to slide this guy, piece of tubing, over the top of it, and I'll go ahead and shrink that. Okay, let that cool down a little bit. It's still pretty damn hot. Nice, huh? And that'll lay over the top of that like that. And the other one will lay over the top the same way. And we'll put them back in the put them back in the cups. Looking good. I'll take it. Okay, so that's the finished splices. One goes there, one goes there, and I go back into the cups. Yeah, that's nice. I'm liking it. So this is the marine sealant I put on here, and I just, like I said, I just tack it in place. Put 2 up here, 2 here, and 1 down the bottom just to kind of hold it in place. And it's got plenty of places for the water to get out. Okay, so then I just snap them into place. And And that's that. That's what they look like. It's a good mod. They make really good quiet headphones. Okay, so that's that mod to date. I hope you guys enjoyed the little tutorial. I'll put up more, you know, as I come up with other concepts. But as it is right now, that's what it's all about, man. So I hope you all have a great day. Be safe out there. Happy hunting, and thanks again for watching.